Hello everyone and welcome back to Kickstarter in the current year, where, like some times before, we will be looking at two projects today, two gaming projects, and the reason for that is that Kickstarter, like autism, is a spectrum. Some projects are terrible because they are extremely low effort and it doesn't seem like anyone even really tried to look over the project after it was finished, and some projects are terrible despite all the apparent effort that went into producing them, and the end result is still bafflingly awful. And so we'll be looking at two projects which are both gearing to be pretty much very, very unsuccessful, and we'll start off with this one called Indie Game Project, Mythanos, Survive, Strategize, Conquer. A survival strategy game where your choices shape the world. Now, this project is asking for $10,000, it's currently made $120, presumably from one of the project creators. It says in the description that there's two people working on this project, which is gonna add like an extra level of amazing quality when you realize that two different people had to look at this project and greenlight it, because we're about to start the pitch video, right? Well, I call it a pitch video, I guess trailer, demo, whatever you want to call what we're about to witness. And every so often on the Discord server, Lobster will post a project and they'll add a little disclaimer that says, hey, headphone warning, this has some of the worst audio I have ever witnessed and is one of the worst pitch videos I've seen on Kickstarter this year. Like, that'll happen fairly frequently. And every time I think, oh come on, we've looked at some awful audio, we've looked at some awful pitch videos, is this one really going to be worse than the previous ones? I think that every time, and every single time, Lobster has been correct, and this is now different, so this is a genuine warning if you're wearing headphones that it's about to become very, very awful. Yeah, there's no other audio. My god, I just got jump scared by this guy. There's no other audio in this pitch video except this static stabbing noise. And two people not only made this video, recorded this gameplay with its intense lag, the lag that's in the freaking video itself, with no commentary, with no descriptions, with no elaborations of what we're looking at or what the gameplay actually is. It's just seemingly two armies just slamming clams together. Right? Really? You want cuddles and attention right now? No other time, huh? But also, they just straight up didn't watch the video back to see that the audio was completely unbearable, or they watched it on mute and went, yeah, that seems alright. Stop. Oh, you want the stick? Hey, if you're gonna do that, look, there's the stick, look at the camera. Thank you. Mythanos, Survive, Strategize, Conquer. An ambitious open-world fantasy indie game that blends survival, sandbox freedom, and deep strategy. Help us bring it to life. We are Nexus Game Studio, a small but passionate two-person team building our dream game. I hate this sentence so much, not only because it, like everything else in the project, seems to be AI generated, but also because, for one, you're describing yourselves as passionate when you didn't have the passion to look back at the video you made, and two, you're describing yourself as a small team, but then saying you're only two people in the same sentence. You're not a small two-person team, you're just two people. That's what you are. I wouldn't describe if I was working on an indie game all on my own, I wouldn't describe myself as a small one-person team. I'd just be a guy. You're just two guys, probably, I assume. Sorry for assuming. Inspired by the strategy of Total War, the freedom of Mountain Blade, and the intense survival of Don't Starve. I kind of just go back to the video here and I think about what I'm looking at, and it kind of just doesn't look like any of those things. It just kind of looks like a bunch of very basic AI with very basic models and animations smashing into each other. I'm more reminded not of Total War, but of the Flash game series Epic War, if you ever played one of those games. Like Epic War, I don't know which one was the really epic one, like Epic War 3 or something. You know, that one was pretty cool. This looks nothing like Total War Mountain Blade, or especially Don't Starve. What the hell are you talking about? I would have expected Kenshi. Kenshi is basically what you want. A survive, strategize, conquer, survival strategy game where you chose to shape the world. Yeah, that's Kenshi. Go play Kenshi. In Mythanos, you begin as a nameless wanderer in a brutal dynamic fantasy world, Kenshi. With no allies and no resources, Kenshi. You must survive, adapt, and grow, Kenshi. Forging alliances, building your own army, and ultimately striving to dominate the mythical continent of Mythanos. The mythical continent of Mythanos. How fucking original is that? This is not just a sandbox, it's an AI-generated sentence. And then you have some screenshots, which, to be fair, are real screenshots, and that is one of the most gormless-looking women I have ever seen in a video game. But she does have some cleavage, and that scores some points. The weird dinosaur dude, it's like a Triceratops guy. Beneath, doesn't have any cleavage though, so the points go back down. The next project is on the other side of the spectrum, very high effort. It's called Puzkin Magnetic Odyssey, an epic and safe sandbox MMORPG for the whole family.
Finally, an online game for the whole family to enjoy together.
Finally sort of implies that it's the first of its kind, which doesn't seem like it's very much the case at all. And one more thing I'm gonna point out immediately is how this person and this project, like, they very much constantly tout how it's gonna be safe. It's gonna be safe for your kids. It's gonna be a safe environment so kids can play and the family can join them, and then they'll repeat that over and over, and it's part of their advertising scheme on the internet. There are, like, MMORPGs and RPGs and online games and so on that have sort of been doing that. They're essentially games geared towards children. What makes them unsafe isn't, you know, the game developers did the fly rubbing together hands thing, right? And then made the game secretly evil. No, it's just that bad people were like, oh, this is a game geared towards children. This is a game that lets me contact and access children. And then some games just said, you have no ways of contacting outside of, like, these set phrases. And there you go, that's kind of how they solved that problem.
Friendship. Freedom. Action.
Do you ever just look at something and go, this is, like, very well made? This looks like very well made, it's pretty well animated, it's well modeled, but it's so ugly. And I'm not the only one to point out, like, pretty much everyone that I've seen chime in on the Reddit threads posted by this person, because they keep posting these Reddit threads trying to advertise their game on the MMORPG subreddit. Everyone's sort of in agreement that it just looks ugly. The art direction is terrible in this game, the characters look awful. It's very obvious. I mean, it obviously is geared towards making children enjoy the visuals. I just don't know if they will. Look at the number of people involved in this game. There's clearly a lot of money already invested in this project. It's currently raised, by the way, like $9,000 out of its roughly $40,000 goal. It's got a month left to go, and I can't predict whether or not this game, like this project, is going to get there. It has the projects we love thing. It has enough going for it in the description to maybe get there. But if this game gets made, it's still going to go nowhere, probably. It's not going to get that player base that it needs to survive. And certainly not to sustain what seems to be a pretty significant studio and what seems to be, like, such a serious project to just put on Kickstarter. It's a bit of a mishmash of everything, but the most interesting part really is not everything you're gonna find down here in this whole thing. You'll find, except for maybe the kid-friendly section. A kid-friendly section telling you, finally a game where kids can play with parents and friends, explore and create safely. Finally! No other game has existed before that they could do that. Where kids, and hold on, there's not even any mention of the MMORPG part. Maybe you could say something about being one of the first MMORPGs in this vein. No mention of that, just a game where kids can play with parents and friends, explore and create safely. I don't know, Minecraft. How about Minecraft? Minecraft exists, there's Minecraft. It's insane how they would make this project trying to erase from history, in their description, probably I'm pretty sure actually, the single most best-selling game in all of gaming history. They're like, just pretend that one doesn't exist, and then we can say we're the first, except they're not. There's like a billion Minecraft ripoffs that this kind of is. No text or voice chat, communicate through gestures, emotes, and animations. That is once again something that you're like, oh, like a billion kids RPGs and MMORPGs have this exact thing going for them. Like every licensed cartoon, movie, game, MMORPG adaptation that exists, like the How to Train Your Dragon is a thing that I know exists, and some other ones, they basically operate on that same level as well. So what you're really advertising there is a lack of a feature as a feature, which is, I don't know, why would you advertise that? Privacy first design, no usernames, no personal data sharing, and no risks. No usernames? What does that actually mean? Okay, so no usernames when you play the game, like then there's nothing in display, because I assume you need some kind of username to log into the goddamn game. But so let's say you have one stupid child and you have another stupid child, and you want those stupid children to play together, but they're not like sitting next to each other on the same computer, right? That's not what this game is advertising. It's an MMORPG. So they connect to the same server, and then they never find each other, and then nothing happens. This is worse than when I remember trying to play like RuneScape with one of my friends, and because RuneScape at the time at least, and probably still currently, unless it's old school RuneScape, and I don't know how that works in that regard, where you needed to buy like premium in order to actually use the chat. So I was trying to get my friend to notice who I am by repeatedly saying what my skill in cooking was, and they never found me. And here's the final kicker to this project. I'm not gonna show off all the Reddit threads and stuff, because there's quite a bit to look at there, and honestly, silly and ridiculous as the person behind this project is, there's still plenty of threads where I'm like, oh well, yeah, the person shouldn't have engaged, the person should have made this thread in the first place, but man, Redditors are such assholes. Because this is a project that has not been AI generated. It seems like it at some points, and it's possible that the copywriter utilized AI, maybe, or they just write like one a little bit, but you can tell it's not exactly written by an AI due to moments like this. Puzkin is not just another MMORPG. It's a groundbreaking multiplayer secure sandbox adventure built with children's safety and family fun at its heart. That's multiplayer's secure sandbox adventure. And that's not a typo that exists once in the project. The word multiplayer is used 6 times on the project, and it's been written correctly twice. And that's gonna do it for today's video. Kickstarter continues to be just the pinnacle of human creation and creativity, and I'm sure Puzkin will be just the same, with its perfect moderation and no way for children to see anything offensive, except for the part where it's like a building thing, so people will absolutely be building dicks everywhere with their little blocks, but that's just gonna be, they're just gonna censor those in real time, I guess. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time when I censor my dick. Hello everyone and welcome back to Kickstarter in the current year, where in today's episode I had a realization that there's something I haven't done in quite some time, and that thing is go on Kickstarter and look for successful projects, and specifically successful tech projects. Because if there's one thing that